Hey everybody, Ken Clark here with the Get Your Fix team and
Marshall Shore, the hip historian.
We're here with Brandie Barrett, who is the Deputy Director of Public Works for the City of Phoenix.
Yes, thanks so much.
And so y'all might remember that Marshall and I, a few months ago, in the cooler days of the year, we did a tour of the recycling facility up at like I-17 and what? South Flagstaff. I don't know. So we went up.
Dixoletta.
I knew it was a
So we did this tour, and then you go back and look at it. We'll send you the links for it or put it in here. And we got to see a lot of the things that many people don't see.
Amazon boxes for days.
For days. Plastic bags
Those
for
plastic
days.
bags and gumping up all the machinery. Oh my gosh.
It was an eye-opener, and thanks to Brandie for getting us in there to see that. And we thought that we would come in and have a more like high-level conversation about what's going on with recycling generally and waste and what our prospects are and what our challenges are. So that's what we're going to do. We're a little two-part thing today and break it up for you so it's not too long. And so I wanted to start, Brandie, if you could talk to us a little bit. What really got us going on this was the announcement at the beginning of the year of China's policy that to no longer take materials from other countries. I think Malaysia is doing it now too. And so that caused a shockwave through the United States. Cities and towns suddenly some of them are not recycling, some of them are changing their policies. What's it done for you and how are you adapting?
Yeah, that's a great question. And first I want to thank you both for expressing an interest in coming out to our material recovery facility. So what, if I may
It's easy,
share,
we're recycling nerd balls.
I know, and it's so awesome, right? Before I joined the solid waste team a handful of years ago, I had never had the opportunity to do that. And when I went myself, it was exactly as you said, eye-opening. I think a lot of times we become kind of detached and disengaged from the waste we produce or how we're consuming products and commodities, and we kind of just put it in the bin and then we forget about it. But when you go to the MRF and you see people pulling things, you see the optical sorters at work, you see what it takes to get all of those things pulled out and commoditized into their own form, and then thinking even further about how do they get sold, where do they get sold to, then it starts to come alive. Oh, I'm having an impact. Like the choices I'm making every day really are affecting our environment, our economy, and so what can I do to do this better and to help the issue? So I'm so grateful for you guys and the work that you do and for having come out and talked with our awesome Lucas Mariaker. So back to your question on China National Sword. So as you said, China National Sword did a couple of things. The first one is in 2017, the Chinese national government implemented this policy. They stopped accepting certain commodities into their market. And the other thing was they really tightened down on the contamination level. So nationally, the contamination level in recycling, it floats around 25 to 30%. It's pretty high. Making that shift, this new policy ratcheted it down. They were accepting that level, it was fine, all the way down to less than half of 1%. So all of a sudden, they're not accepting some things, the market is gone, and the things that they are still accepting, they want it really, really clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like half of 1% is almost like a new material, right?
Yeah.
So it's very, very strict. So it impacted us in a lot of ways. The first thing we did is we had to really slow down our operation, right, to make sure that we were getting as much of the stuff out of there as possible. The last thing we want to do is have stuff rejected and sent back.
Don't do that.
The cool thing is, here in Phoenix, ever since we introduced Reimagine Phoenix back in 2012, that's what it's all been about. We've been proactively trying to engage partners, manufacturers, other entities here to try to find off-takers for those things in the waste stream and in the recycling stream. And so, we've done a lot of RFPs, requests for proposals, and that's how we really formally engage with those manufacturers, as well as it's what our Circular Economy Hub, the Resource Innovation Campus, is all about.
Right, yeah. Now, I think the city just announced recently a partnership with somebody who's going to take some of the plastics and turn it into diesel fuel. And that's not going to start until, what, 2022 or something like that?
Well, we're in the process of negotiating that contract right now.
Okay.
So yes, it's a little bit off in the future, but yeah. So one of the impacts of that policy was the closing of the market for low-value plastics. These are the 3s through 7s.
What is a 3? What's a...
Okay, so that's a Lucas question, but generally speaking, they're your yogurt cups, plastic films a lot of it.
Styrofoam?
Styrofoam, I don't know if that, styrofoam falls in the
okay.
categories. I think it's a 7 maybe.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that, but it falls within those categories. Yeah, styrofoam is such a problematic material.
Yeah.
It's really, really problematic.
Right.
And it's not recyclable. It's actually not recyclable in the blue.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's really bad.
You restaurants, you're using styrofoam? Stop it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, no problem. So it's also some of the plastic toys are made from those low value plastics, and there's never been a great market for them, but we've always been able to get rid of them or sell them at a low return up until that policy change. And then all of a sudden, something we were able to divert in the past, now we couldn't. And so as good municipal employees, we called around to our friends at the other cities. What are you guys doing with all this material?
Right.
And they said, well, we're stockpiling it or we're landfilling it. And we were in the unenviable position of having to landfill that material. And for us, it wasn't good enough. And we also knew we weren't the only ones here locally having the problem. So we reached back into our tool belt, old RFP, put it out to the community, said, hey, manufacturing community, we have this much volume of these plastics. We're interested in what you can do with it. Maybe you take it and turn it into some plastics to plastics. We're interested in maybe plastics to fuel. We weren't sure what the market would bear. We didn't want it incinerated.
But this is what you found.
And so,
so plastic fuel is not ideal because it's more carbon, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, in an ideal world, you're keeping things at their highest and best use for as long as possible.
Right.
And so this way, the fuel that they create, they basically are going to reverse engineer it back to its basic molecular composition, and then they can create diesel fuel out of it. So it's not ideal because you're kind of downcycling, if you will, but there is a very high demand for diesel at the moment still. People are still using it, so rather than mining virgin, if we create it from this source, there is a bit of a carbon offset.
So let's hold that thought for a second, because Chris, our amazing videographer, just let us know that we're up close to 5 minutes, and in the world of the internets, that's way too long.
Exactly.
You kids and your internets. So we're gonna do a quick break here. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk
change
about
our clothes
as if it's a different day. So no, we're gonna be right back, and we're gonna talk a little bit with Brandie about the Innovation Hub and some of the forward thinking that they're gonna do there. So we're gonna take a break right now. Bye.
Bye.